Welcome along to the EXFL Tier 2 Season 8 Spanish Grand Prix. I am F1 Union, your main commentator for tonight, and back alongside me is F1 Nico 22. Nick, how are you tonight?
I am fantastic. Cannot wait and very happy to be back for Tier 2 tonight. It's going to be an exciting race. We've just had report from one of the drivers in the chat that it will be raining in the race, so a little bit half and half. So let's see how Tier 2 can manage throughout the rain.
Is indeed, we're just waiting on 2 more people to join in the session. But yeah, 18 minutes ahead of us as Seb rejoins back. Yeah, we got a dry qualifying session, but like Nick said, half and half for the race, rain and dry. As the first car out onto the track, Small Nick heads into turn 1, followed by Cargo's Blanc and then the Mercedes of Bluey Doggo. So, bit of a recap from last week. We've had 6 races where we've seen action at Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Australia, Azerbaijan, Miami and Imola. We went to Monaco last week, not realising the safety car glitch was still a thing. So the whole event, week of Monaco got cancelled, voided. It never happened. So that was never round 7. This is round 7 of 22 of EXFL Tier 2 Season 8. No more 23. It's not the longest season we have ever had. It's the joint longest season because we're keeping that consistency going for the last 2 years, all 22 races. And yeah, we're just waiting for Sin Icon to join because he's got to renew his Xbox Live. And also, who else? Frosty Life because his Xbox is updating. Just change the audio. There we go. Right then. El Spain. Right, Logan at the back again. Eggy, he's got a point to prove, the top 2 in the World Championship. Currently 12th and 11th here. Logan leads the World Championship by 7 points ahead of Eggy and then 8 points ahead of Josh Hewitt. These lot, well, Josh and Logan did crash out in Monaco and Eggy did manage to get a podium. So he's going to be, well, I'm sure he would have been pretty annoyed that the points didn't count, especially Callum H, who did get quote-unquote his first win. And pole, he absolutely floored it. Oh my god, and speaking of floored it, in the background, Callum 5 has completely lost it at the chicane where Cargo's Blanc is going in, and Callum 5, who returns after missing a couple races, is already out and will start this race at the back. I don't think Sin Icon is able to join, which is going to be a big dent to his efforts as he's joint on points with Josh Hewitt. So we'll just wait for Frosty's Xbox to update. Anyway, Small Nick has invalidated Cura in the pit lane. He was also one to get onto the podium last week and be annoyed of the fact it all was for nothing really, which is very unfortunate. But we're back for pretty much the second third of the season as Bluey Doggo 4.1 seconds off the pace. Josh Hewitt nearly 7/10 off Cargo's Blanc, who's on a lap. Warren reserving in the Red Bull today on the mediums, 21.7, now 51.6, drifting on an out lap. Callum just going through the middle of his lap now as the 3 behind him are still in the pit lane. And it's a corner they're struggling with, are the drivers. That fast chicane as he's heading to the end of the middle sector. It's a 50.7. So we'll see Warren going to the pits now. Drifting's just began his lap, I think. Heading through sector 1 now. 21.5. We'll see Callum, who's lagging a little bit there, through the final corner. 1:11.8 is the time to beat. He goes across the line. So 1:11.9. He goes behind Cargo's Blanc. So Callum, who stormed to pole position last week, quote unquote, can't on his first run deny Cargo's Blanc at the moment. Right, Small Nick, he's just about to finish his lap time now in the Haas, promoted after Miami. Same with Cura into the Alpine, who I guess technically is still the latest race winner. As look at that, the top 3 covered by under a 10th. Both Haas well in. And drifting now coming around the final corner. Where can he place his Williams? It's coming across the line. So 12.2 to go P4 and go 4/10 off the pace. Everyone else currently on their in lap or in the pit lane. We see a car coming out of Warren. There we go, Frosty's on home. So he'll be joining soon. We'll have 13 then. Right, Warren heading out. And I ask you this pretty much every week, Nick. This track, Barcelona, what's the key skill to have around here to maximise your performance and get the best result possible?
Look, I'm going to say it again, but for a different reason. Obviously, the track is quite demanding on the tyres, you would say. There's a lot of high speed, medium speed, low speed, long corners. And you just have to wait for that front end to bite. You have to be patient because, like, as I'm at the moment, coming up for turn 12, a long corner, you have to get the front end in. But it won't bite straight away, and you just have to keep it in there and not get frustrated with yourself and try and get on the throttle too early because then you'll end up in a spin. So, look, I'm saying it once again, but patience and precision at this track is a key factor around to just get a fast lap time and complete the race to a high standard.
Very much indeed. Right, Eggy heading round the final couple of corners then. Nick, take us through this lap then.
Eggy then coming up towards the final corner now. Setting up the final corner, going a little bit wide to maximise the straight line speed down the straight using the battery and the DRS, braking just after the 100 metre, the service road on the left hand side, a little bit deep into turn 1, but he uses all the curb to turn 2, very nice. Let's see what he does through turn 3, completely flat out, keeping it to the right hand side. Picking up a few marbles, yeah, coming into turn 4 now, the marbles just, it's very bad at this circuit. If the driver's going to get one lap time, it's gonna be their second lap because the marbles are absolutely horrendous on that third lap. Coming up towards 7 and 8 then. Uphill, using the sausage curb perfectly there, putting the tyres just on the sausage curb to use all the track. A little bit wide through turn 9, but should maximise the straight, full straight line speed. Heavy braking at the 100 metre ball for turn 10. Missing the apex slightly, but bringing the car out to the green AstroTurf really well, and then through turn 12 getting a little bit on the curb, which is a little bit unfortunate, killed the minimum speed as Kua puts an 11.6 on the board. Through the final corner, a little bit of a lift and a downshift, DRS activated up to the line, and it is a 12.2. I don't think Eggy's going to be very proud of that lap, but we should see him go again as Josh puts it on provisional pole.
24 thousandths then, Josh Hewitt. He loves this track. I remember a couple seasons back, it was raining and qualifying, and he absolutely stormed it to the front row. And he was fighting for a victory, I think 1.5 years ago, 3 seasons ago. So yeah, I'm sure he'll be looking forward to closing that gap, as his rivals of Eggy in front of him, down in 6th, and Logan currently still last. His teammate, as Frosty's now in, that's good. His teammate Cal, who crashed right at the start. McLaren not looking too good at the moment. They lead the constructors by, I think, 24 points as drifting's left. Getting back in, there we go, right. So yeah, Logan has our lap, we've caught him this time. He always waits about 8 or so minutes before coming out. Seb having connection issues, he's about to start his lap then. So heading through the final corner then with the AlphaTauri, crossing the line as the DRS is activated to begin this 71-second lap time. Plunging down one of the longest runs into turn 1, using the curb to the left, diving it into the first chicane, taking it nice and easy. Here's the AlphaTauri, and then you want to go flat, keeping it right all the time at turn 3. Now a heavy shift into turn 4 as Cargos Blanc once again delivers a lap time good enough for provisional pole, and it's so close between the top 3 again as Seb has taken turn 4 flawlessly into turn 5, using a lot of curbs so far this lap in every possible chance he gets, as Frosty is in his Aston Martin. Now up through the tricky chicane that we saw Cal crash out as Seb taking it effortlessly. Now through a flat right hand corner up before the second DRS straight of the lap. Heading into the end of the second sector. It's been a solid lap so far for Seb, 50.8. Only a couple tenths off the pace, I believe, so this is good enough for the third row minimum. Heading through the final couple corners, you just want to make sure you navigate it perfectly, making sure not to have any loose slaps that can lose you tenths. Riding the curve once again through the final corner, a little bit of a letdown on the throttle as we cross the line now with the AlphaTauri. It's going to be a 1 minute 12.2 to put him on the third row minimum. So yes, he's ahead of Eggy, while his teammate currently P2, 44 thousandths off Cargos Blanc, delivering for Alfa Romeo, another team in the fight at the moment, as his teammate Eggy, second in the championship, down in 7th, but Cargos Blanc delivering. Can he take it all the way to the race? We know he's had some unlucky moments. We know he can cause some unlucky moments. So we'll see what can happen with him. But at the moment, when they head into their final runs, it's going to be Cargos Blanc who's going to be leading them away. A small neck helps Haas now go up to 4th and 5th. So yeah, Frosty going to get only the 1 lap in, it seems. Bluey Doggo, I think, just beginning his lap now. 4.4 seconds off the pace at the moment. Playing F1 2019 about 50 minutes ago. Probably should have been practicing a bit more on this game. But who can blame him? Logan goes 9th then while all that was happening. 8 tenths off the pace. Interesting. Warren 1.8 down. It's going to be between Warren and Bluey. Probably fighting for 12th and 13th as soon as Frosty and Cal make their way up. But yeah, that is very close to top 3, Nick.
It is indeed. Obviously quite a short circuit, but it just shows just the capability of these drivers just to be so close to each other. And obviously it sets up for a very exciting race. The drivers are going to be very, very close.
Are indeed. What about Bluey then, as he's heading through the final sector now? Yeah, a lot of drivers taking wide entries and exits on this corner, like when we were riding on board with, who was it? Eggy. Or someone. Don't even know who you're riding on board with now, but as Bluey crosses the line, he improves by 7 tenths, but still stays where he is. Whoever you were going on board with went so wide into turn 1 and a few other corners.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was now for the life of me. Anyway, Frosty still in the pit lane. 5 minutes 25 to go. Still quite a bit of time, but remember, for the race, it is half and half. We're going to have rain and we're going to have dry elements. Don't know which will come first, actually. They didn't specify. You want to take a bet, Nick? What will it be? Rain or dry at the start?
Dry, then wet.
Okay, I'll go the opposite then. I'll go wet, then dry. Frosty Life coming out the pit lane now. So this will be, maybe he has time for 2 runs. But like we can see, just as he's exiting the pit lane, the marbles coming off those soft compound tyres. Top 7 in the pit lane, then drifting back in the session. Don't know if he got held up there by Warren. Seems like this is a lap he is pushing for, as it's going to be a 50.8, 3 thousandths down. So maybe Warren did potentially get in his way, did drifting. He has to find 12 thousandths to get himself ahead of Eggy, and a bit more to get himself ahead of Seb, but nothing else in front of him really besides P6 on the cards. Round the final corner then for the one and only Williams as he goes off there, and that's going to lose him all the time and drop him 10 thousandths off. So he could have potentially been on for P6, but he messed up on the exit at the final corner. He's weaving there, showing he's made a mistake. He's angry with himself, but hopefully in the last run he can find that time back. Right, so as Warren heads into turn 1 then, starting his lap, who's got to improve? Logan's really got to nail it. The last few qualifying sessions haven't gone his way really. Josh Hewitt has been, he started the season off well with the win obviously, has been a bit unlucky since in the last 5 races to get podiums since. Always one of the first of the front runners to get a track limit penalty, which has hindered him due to late safety cars. As we have 3.5 minutes remaining then. What about Warren then? Taking it through. I think this is that chicane, the second chicane, is going to be the corner most drivers struggle at most. Cal did it once, so he's going to have to wait a whole 20 minutes pretty much before he gets to this section. Frosty Life then, also on a lap, so we'll see Warren. 4.3 seconds down, so he's definitely not going to do anything. What's happening, Nick?
Drifting, coming into the pit lane, cutting some corners, making sure he can get enough quick enough, and just clipping that inside wall. I thought that was going to be a catastrophe.
Right then, 51.9 for Frosty. For reference, Seb did a 51.8, so Frosty could be either as good as 6th or 9th. He's going to be in that pack. This is coming around the final corner then, is the Aston Martin. A little bit of a lift as we cross the line now in due time. It's going to be a 1 minute 13.5 and it goes P11. He lost a lot of time in maybe the first or last sector there to put himself even behind Warren. Right then, top guys coming out of the pit lane now. 2 Hassers on their outlap. Same with Cargos Blanc, who is on provisional pole. Never had a pole position, has James, in his 2nd season. He joined last season, just before midway, I think. Josh Hewitt, can he potentially get another pole? Can Cure get his first pole? Check the records. We've had Cal on pole this season, Jason, then Callum H in the Haas, and then Logan, and then Seb. And then for a 2nd time this season we had Sid Icon, but he's not here today. So we're either going to get a new 2nd, or we're going to get a new pole sitter this season, or maybe even in EXFL Tier 2 in general. So Cargos Blanc then, with 1 minute 40 seconds remaining, does his final run. And Nick, take us through it.
I shall. Let's find him. Cargos Blanc then. Heading down towards turn 1. Braking just after the 100-meter board, as I said. Oh, a little bit wide through turn 1 there, which has sacrificed his turn 2. And he's had to scrub off all the speed to set up turn 3. And he's going wider and wider and wider, picking up the marbles on the tyres. He's still got the marbles for the turn in, and he has no grip. Half a tenth down, and he's just trundling down the timing order. Here, he still has marbles on his tyres. And crossing over the racing line again towards T6 and T7, and he still has the marbles on the tyres. And he's all over the place. Coming up to turn 9 now. Yeah, and he just had to back out. Yeah, the marbles are just too severe. And I wonder for people like Logan, how are they going to be doing?
So as Small Nick, he's backed off. Callum heading through the fast right now. Cure's invalidated. Josh Hewitt's just began his lap. Cure, oh no!
Yeah, Cure rejoining the circuit right in front of Logan and takes him out pretty much.
No damage for Logan. Cure gets a 5-place grid penalty. No damage on his car either. That allows the 2 Haas cars to be moved up. Callum is flying. He's 3/10 up. What about Josh Hewitt? He's 3/10 down. So Callum, the only one improving at the moment. And Seb, Eggy's down. So what about Callum then? Can he take his 2nd pole in EXFL Tier 2? He crosses the line. He improves, but not enough. He still stays on the 2nd row. He lost some time. So at the moment, the top 3, as they were, Josh Hewitt heading through the middle sector now. That's it for Callum. Small Nick, that's it for him as well. Seb round the final corner. He's 6/10 up. Could Seb get a 2nd pole in EXFL Tier 2? Seb goes on pole position. And can anyone else challenge him now? Seb, for the 2nd time at the moment, is on pole position. Drifting, currently 8th. Down just a bit. Eggy is 7th at best. Logan crosses the line. And due to that contact with Cure, he'll be starting right in front of him at the moment. So around the final corner, I think that might be it. Nick's invalidated. Cure's in the pit lane. Cargos Blanc is 2 seconds down. And that is it for qualifying. Seb, for the 2nd time this season, and for the 2nd time in EXFL Tier 2 career, he has taken pole position. He got his 1st in Miami. He got his 2nd win. He gets his 2nd pole. Is he on for a 3rd? Well, we know how exuberant he got when he got pole in Miami, so he's going to be absolutely jubilant that he got pole today in Spain. His teammate Josh Hewitt 3rd. That is a great result for AlphaTauri and nearly a front row locker. That is a great qualifying from Cargos Blanc to get 2nd, but Seb right at the end pulled it out of the bag. Just waiting for Cargos Blanc to retire. So yeah, Josh 3rd. Q will drop down to 9th then. Both Hassers will be 4th and 5th. Eggy 6th, drifting 7th. Logan will be 8th, and I'm not sure he's going to be too happy. Kiwi will be 9th. Warren 10th ahead of Frosty Life, then Bluey, and then Cal. Seb takes his 2nd pole then. Another repeat pole sitter. This is his what? This is Seb's 98th race, and he's been on pole in 2 of the last 3 races. And those are his only 2 poles he's ever had in EXFL Tier 2. Right, quick pick of the grid. I accidentally took a video instead of a photo, but oh well. Did you see that coming at the end there, Nick? Seb?
Definitely not. But I mean, like I said, personally, I cannot set a good lap with these marbles. But obviously, he's showed us all it is possible. And to go on pole by over a tenth of a second, after Cargo's Bong showed such strength throughout the whole qualifying session, it's very impressive.
Logan saying just got impeded. Yep, I'm sure that'll be looked at with Cure. Could be a couple of IPs if there was contact, but you were right, Nick. It's going to be dry, and then it's going to get interesting with the clouds forming and the rain. See what the strategy is going for. Softs, as far as the eye can see, a few on mediums. I'd say soft medium is possible around here. You tend to go with the mediums long into the race to put the softs on at the end, but softs, interesting call. As we're going to gear up then for round 7. The new round 7 of EXFL Tier 2 Season 8. So we can hear the beeps ticking down. 13 drivers. We got Seb on pole for a second time. He converted his first into a win. Can he do it again today and bring himself right into the forefront of the World Championship battle? The 5 lights are coming on for the Tier 2 drivers. The revs rise. And they will plunge down into turn 1, a long run, as Seb will lead them away ahead of Cargo's Bong. It's lights out, and away we go with the 2 Alpha Tauris, fighting off the 2 Hasses with the 2 Alfa Romeos. Into turn 1, then it's 3 wide, 2 wide, and Seb leading out in front with Josh Hewitt, trying to get still ahead of the Haas cars as Seb from Cargo's Bong, then Josh Hewitt wheel to wheel with Callum, who's ahead of the Alpha Tauri in a Haas sandwich, and then followed by Kua, Eggy, Logan, Cal up to 9th as he follows his teammate Frosty drifting down to 11th. Down the inside goes Warren into P11, and then Frosty Life, a little bit of lag there. Bluey dropping down the order to last as Seb at the moment still leads them. No contact, no mistakes, and at the moment they've all kept fine as the 2 McLarens are the closest 2 on track at the moment through the chicane. Can Cal take it right this time? Just about, as he's once again, for not the first time this season, right behind his teammate on the opening lap. So Seb having a good getaway. Little close for comfort there with Josh Hewitt and the 2 Haas cars, but they made it fine. And yeah, Warren and Frosty now battling for P10. Can we have an incident-free opening lap? That would be great, as Seb will come around the final corner. Position gains. Biggest gainer at the moment is Cal from last up to 9th. And we'll have a look at tyres. Seb, fastest lap of the race. Cargo's Blanc and Frosty Life put the hard compound tyres on. Then followed by 4 people on the mediums. Eggy on the softs. Cal on the softs. That's why he's made up places. Warren and Bluey dropping down as well. Drifting versus Frosty into turn 1. Can't get a good angle. So Frosty loses the place to Drifting, who's up into P11. Seb still leads. 6/10 is the gap between him and Cargo's Blanc, holding down what would be a great result for him and the team. And then Josh, like I said, in the Haas sandwich at the moment, all on medium compound tyres. No wide there. Josh is all over the back of Callum. Kieran 6, bit of a DRS trade at the moment. No one really falling off the pace outside the top 10 anyway. Drifting, holding off Frosty. Bluey just falling down the order more and more behind. But yeah, I don't know what I'm seeing really. There's been no sort of incident or contact yet. Have you seen anything, Nick?
No, I haven't, to be honest. I've just been paying attention to who's lost players, who places, who has gained places. Obviously, Cuba there gaining 3, as well as Callum. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Starting from the back.
Penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, something's happened with Cargo's Blanc, because he's lost a second and now he's lost P2 to Callum. Josh Hewitt watching this unfold, blasting his battery to see if he can get Cargo's Blanc. He's going to go to the inside of the Alfa Romeo. He's going to place his car perfectly, and they make contact because he turns too early, Josh, and Cargo's Blanc, and now he has to recover, and Small Nick and Cal, both Hasses, gaining positions due to that, and Josh once again just not watching his mirrors and drops down to P12, as is Eggy getting overtaken by his main championship rival and his teammate for good effort. Logan into 6th, Cal 7th, round the outside goes his teammate. Eggy watching this unfold, and it's all kicking off on the 3rd lap as he's wheel to wheel with Warren now getting in on the act. He gets ahead of Eggy, does Warren. He's fighting his way up, and the 2 McLarens also making their way up the order, but Josh has it all to do in 12th, and that might be another sneak of an overtake on Frosty, but at the moment has to stay behind for now. And Frosty getting it all wrong there. And they nearly crash once again. Right,
It's
then
not
Seb, one...
Carbro's lap at the moment. I think what's happened is he's gone wide at the final corner, and that has just lost him all momentum. And once again, he's dropped out of 1 second, just like that. Couple mistakes. He's a little bit flustered, probably. Maybe damage off Josh Hewitt, but I highly doubt it, unless he's been really unlucky. But now he's going to try and use all the tyres and his battery to get within that 1 second. And here comes Cure.
Cure down the inside, then takes P4. Easy pickings there. Considering Cargo's Blanc is also on the hard compound tie. He's got Logan all over the back of his cow. Loses 2 places to Warren and drifting. And Eggy's on the back of him now as we look into turn 4. Down the inside goes the McLaren of Logan, trying to sneak a move on Cargo's Blanc. Warren goes deep there, but holds on to P7, or does he? Drifting back around the outside. Warren cuts him off just to stay safe. And yeah, Cal and Eggy dropping down the order. So Logan leading the World Championship, 7 points ahead of Eggy. They're currently 7th and 10th. As seems like Haas are on the charge.
In the space of a lap, losing 3 places and once again making more mistakes. He's going to drop out of a second of Cure in a minute. This is not going well for Cargo's Blanc at the moment.
Seems like those hard compound tyres are just not firing up or as quick as the guys around him, considering he had excellent qualifying pace to bang in great laps. As round the outside goes Eggy. What a move on Cal. Can he make it stick? Just about. And he's got the DRS from drifting to make it stick. What a beautiful move from Eggy to get ahead of his championship rivals teammate. And Logan, the championship leader, gets ahead of his championship rivals teammate. Into turn 1 then Logan gets Cargo's Blanc, who once again loses another place drifting. And Warren pursuing now P6 as Eggy holds on to that P9 place. And what a brilliant move it was. And now he's on the tail of drifting, who goes pretty much off the track. Eggy not giving him any room, and due to the ghosting system, drifting may have a look at the switchback. And lag all over the shop there as he goes off. And now he's back on. Yeah, drifting's lagging a lot. Cal to the inside. Will he get the move? Seems like Eggy's definitely got the move. Drifting just about holding off Cal, but he's losing so much time due to all the lag. You've seen this, Nick?
Yeah. Pretty distracting.
So Eggy making his way up then, up into 8th. That's 2 positions in a lap. And he now sets his sight on Warren, and then who's on the back of his teammate, Logan. 1.7 behind Q, who's all over the back of Nick. As, yeah, Callum just outside of a second of Seb, who's used most of his battery to keep him away. So I think there'll be a change of P3. It's Q with the DRS in the slipstream of the Haas. Josh Hewitt getting Bluey Doggo because going off his Cal at the old chicane. Don't know what's happened there as he falls to last. And it has not been his race so far. Into turn 1, Cure has easily got ahead of Nick. Logan did hold off Cargo's Blanc, who is just holding off Warren and Eggy, and then drifting. Josh Hewitt back up into the points then. Don't know what happened with Cal there. Did you see, Nick?
No, I didn't, to be honest, but his race seems to be going from, well, it was pretty good, but now it's going from bad to worse as he's in the current position of where he starts, and he has 1.6 seconds to catch up to the car in front.
Who is 7.5 off the next car. Yeah, so he started 13th, gained 4 places up to 9th, most of anyone, as drifting's left. I've just caught that. And now he's back down to where he started, like you said, and has to do it all over again. Why am I going into that? He's Xbox.
Yeah. Upset him,
right. Few connection errors as, yeah, Josh Hewitt gets an free move, essentially. And that's going to drop drifting potentially out of the points when he joins back. Unlucky for him, he was lagging a lot. But that's freed Eggy to have a go right on Warren. And Callum now within a second, drifting back in the session. This is a great view as we see the Haas gaining and gaining and gaining on the AlphaTauri, but he is not close enough as Eggy gets past Warren, who is flashing already as we see once again the helicopter cam. It's a brilliant view as Eggy into turn 1 then gets the move done. So now Alfa Romeo 7th and 6th, McLaren 5th and 13th. Haas 4th and 2nd. That'll be drifting back into his car. Oh, Bluey.
Yeah, Callum's going for a move.
Yeah.
Pushed him right up to the pit wall nearly. A Schumacher and Barrichello, bro, I cannot speak today. Barrichello-esque move as Callum still has 8.8 seconds to catch, and drifting has made it back in, so that's going to make it even harder for Callum.
Yeah, Callum 20 seconds off the lead at the moment. That is going to be rather annoying considering his qualifying lasted approximately about 2 minutes, losing it at this very corner into the wall. But yeah, Seb, for the first time this race, might feel some pressure as Doggy for the first time this... Bluey Doggo for the first time this race.
Whoa,
gets the first penalty.
hold on.
Right, here we go then. Seb starting lap 8, and for the first
He's
time
flashing
may
as well.
not lead the next lap. Callum on the back, now in front, pulls out, and it's an easy move as they're both flashing. But Callum, for the second race in a row, is going to lead a lap. He deserves this win, I'm not going to lie. He absolutely dominated the Monaco Grand Prix, won the race, and it didn't count. So if he can win today, he's come back with business, and he's going to come back with, again, it's not every day you win your first Grand Prix 2 weeks in a row. But at the moment, he's sliding!
Bloody hell!
Just there to Seb. Q is going to catch this before he knows. Small Nick under pressure from Logan and Cargo's Long who have caught him. Eggy on the soft compound tyres. They're going to be fading off a bit. Warren 1.6 off as Josh Hewitt eyes his next move. Oh, God, that's going to get clipped. Drifting back in his car. 6/10 ahead of Frosty. Callum already gapping Bluey Doggo. We'll switch to penalties. Right then, Seb is going to stick with, because if they both have no ERS, it's Callum once again making so many mistakes in the lead now. And it seems like it'll be one of those where they keep swapping for P1. He's going wide there and lagging a little bit.
Yeah, and lag.
Yeah, Cure I think might just get DRS here, so he's joined the party. So in his first race, he inherited P3 due to pens. In his second race, he inherited P1 due to pens. And in his third race was technically last week, and he got a podium, but again, doesn't count. So this time, once again, in the podium as Logan. It's into turn 1, gets into P4 ahead of Nick.
Kua is really
Josh
showing
Hewitt.
some brilliant pace this race. Up 6 paces already. I mean, think of where he would be without
Josh
that
Hewitt
5
and
pace.
Warren! They've made contact. I was going to say
Not
Josh
again.
has learned from his mistake, but I don't even know whose fault that even was. I believe it might have been Warren's, but they both have wing damage, and somehow there's no VSC, even though Warren's lost his whole wing as Smallneck gets overtaken by Cargo's Blong. Not an everyday you see a move there, unless he got it royally messed up there. But yeah, Cal now gets Warren, who's causing more yellows. No front wing is going to hinder him. Bluey's going to see someone for the first time in a few laps. Josh Hewitt losing his left end plate. Bad evening gets worse for him. Frosty has been promoted up to 9th. Drifting just outside of a second of him. Eggy in no man's land at the moment. And then there was a 3-car battle for P4. And a 3-car battle for the lead. So Seb using all his battery. Callum trying to save some. Kua, plenty of battery, and he's gaining in the slipstream of Seb, but seems a bit too far behind this time. So, as they were, 10 laps in, double digits now. And as they were for the 3-car battle behind them too. Josh Hewitt into the pit lane then, making sure not to speed. He's gonna have to put the hard compound tyres on to go to the end of this race. Right, into the pits comes the AlphaTauri and the Red Bull and the Mercedes. So they're all going to put the hard compound tyres on. Interesting. Josh has put softs on. Bluey mediums. And Warren softs. So none of them went hards. Okay. Interestingly, it seems like the hards may have come back in favour for Cargo's Blong. He doesn't seem to be losing as much time. He's sticking with Logan, who can't really make an impact on the top 3 if they're just DRS trading each other away. So we got a 3-car fight for P1, a 3-car fight for P4. Eggy, like I said, in no man's land. Drifting. Going to come under pressure from Frosty soon. Cal also on his own. And Josh Hewitt's just going to have to pump in some good laps here. Oh, so no, he's not, because he's going to go off into the gravel. You got to be kidding me. Pushing too hard on the exit of 4. That's going to lose him more time. As a change of leadership. Fighting for the lead, 3 wide here nearly. Callum loses the lead to 7. Kua tries around the outside, but at the moment, the only switch is for P1 and P2. And Seb takes the lead back ahead of Callum and Kua on the back. Callum having a little look at Seb. And now we're going to see a right battle for the lead. AlphaTauri versus Haas versus Alpine. Seb, who's won once this season. Callum, who's right with him in the standings, I think 2 points ahead of Seb, so 2 points cover the top 2. And then Kua, who, if I'm not mistaken, is level on points with Seb. So these three, all covered by 2 points in the World Championship. I'll just double check this. Yes, they are. Seb and Kua both joint as Cal, causing yellows, spinning around there. Cargos Blanc got ahead of Logan, I've just realised, while that was happening as well. Callum under pressure from Kua, getting it all wrong as we head into the final couple corners. So yeah, Kua and Seb both on 40 points, Callum on 42. Here we go from the aerial shot. Seb flashing, Callum in the slipstream, Kua right behind the Haas. And who's going to try and make a move? Callum in the slipstream, does he try and move to the inside? Yes, he does. Will Seb leave him the space just about to stay in P2? And Kua right on the back, putting him under all sorts of pressure. Now goes round the outside. Does he have the momentum to switch to the inside? Yes, he does, with the ERS helping him. And they're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 4. Does Kua back off? Yes, he does. He lets Callum get ahead, but he's now going to stick him back up the inside. And they're going to go wheel to wheel as Seb watching this unfold. Callum versus Kua. Callum squeezes him right to the outside. Kua has to go round the outside, still sticking with this. Is brilliant. And can Kua make the move stick? They're going to go wheel to wheel through a place you don't really want to go side by side. Callum has to let him go.
Out. Yeah, very smart from Callum there. Just to yield the position, you know, better just to lose one position than to be tumbling down the order.
And unfortunately, due to that battle, they have lost DRS to Seb, and if they can just push enough, they might just be able to get it back before they hit the detection zone heading into the final corner. But at the moment, there we go, it's 2 thousandths now, it's within the second, so at the moment I think Kua's just about done enough, considering Seb has no ERS to help. Kua's back within. So yeah, a little feisty there between Callum and Kua, but it's what we like to see. It's allowed Cargos Blanc to gain about a second and a bit on them. And no love loss, no sort of contact, brilliant racing. So they're all flashing, besides Logan. Logan's doing a good job saving his battery. And Kua, to be fair. So if Logan can do enough, and if they can DRS each other, if the leaders battle enough, Logan has to play this strategically now. He is the championship leader. His teammate Eggy just losing more and more time due to the DRS. Unless Eggy can get an undercut on them. And remember, Cargos Blanc is going to go long into this race. He's going to be hoping that there is no safety car. Spain doesn't usually tend to have many safety cars. I'd say it has one, really. On average, maybe the odd VSC. I don't know. Frosty still keeping the gap constant at 1.12 drifting. He's just not quite within that second yet. And he has nearly 3 times more ERS, so he may as well use it a bit. As we are going to head on to lap 14 soon. And Kua, who got the 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Logan. That'll affect him in IPs, won't affect his race result. So, he started 9th after qualifying 4th. And on lap 14, as Nick gets ahead of Logan, who's into the pit lane, on lap 14, Kua now is the new race leader. He heads into turn 1, and the Alpine leads. Ahead of Seb, ahead of Callum, Cargos Blanc, then Small Nick. As Logan pits then, from mediums to hard compound tyres. It is around the pit stop window. So if Logan can pit early, potentially get some good laps, he maybe could join the top 4. As for the top 3, it is a crucial stage now. Do they pit, go onto the hards to the end, or do they stick it out and then put the softs on the end, lose the time, but then be able to gain it back? Do they have the pace? What about Josh Hewitt then? 21 seconds, but 17 behind Logan. That wing change and going off into the gravel has cost him about 6 to 7 to 8 seconds. Swapping position there, Cal and Bluey heading into turn 1. So we've still got all 13 drivers at the moment. Kua has gapped Seb by a second, who rolls into the pit lane. Callum stays out, so Seb will have to put on the hard compound tyres. We'll see where he is in contrast to Logan, who's pushing now. Smolnik, does he have enough? No, he's got he's got no battery, whatsoever to have a move on Cargos Blanc. So Seb into the pit lane, stops on his marks, puts the hard compound tyres on. Logan coming around the final corner, then followed by Eggy, who's going to put the medium compound tyres on. So there is Seb. There is Logan crossing the line. And Seb will stay ahead of Logan, but the gap is certainly smaller. As Seb well, doesn't really need to warm it or his tyres up, but still needs to get a feel for them. As Logan 1.4 behind, he's definitely gained a couple seconds. And the only battle within a second at the moment, Smolnik versus Cargos Blanc. Oh, that's off for Cargos Blanc. That's going to probably be a warning there. Yeah, no penalties for the top 12 at the moment. And I'm sure people like Josh Hewitt really will be hoping for a safety car, as at the moment strategy is going all according to plan for the drivers who have not pitted before lap 10, as the top 2 are now in. Cargos Blanc will inherit the lead. Smolnik, can he take the lead? As let's see what these two go on to. Smolnik in the slipstream with the DRS to go to the inside now, and Haas are back into the lead, but it's Smolnik this time ahead of Cargos Blanc, and he will surely be coming in next lap. So Callum, Q has put the softs on, as Callum has put the hard compound tyres on. That is very interesting. Seb comes across the line then. There is Callum. This is going to be close on exit. They're going to be wheel to wheel essentially. Heading down to turn 1 to Seb. Brave it round the outside on the brakes. Yes, he does indeed. What a move from Seb to get back ahead of Callum. And just stay ahead as Kua is 1.7 ahead on the softs, crucially. But that was brave stuff from the AlphaTauri to make it stick. There was good trust there between the two, and Seb perfectly round the outside gets ahead of Callum. Logan 1.6 behind. And yeah, Kua on the softs. We're not even halfway in, really. We're about to be. And he's going to have to make those softs last that whole time. I mean, he can get the gap maybe to 6 seconds. He's going to be flying. That's 2 compounds better. But I've just remembered this, Nick. The rain.
Yes, indeed. So, for people like Seb here on the hard tyres, maybe this is why Kua's gone for the soft. Because... And as soon as I say that,
Cargos has gone for the hards.
As soon as I say that, look, it's gone dark.
That's why I remember the rain's gone overcast. Is this why Cargos Blanc has gone onto the hards? Same with Frosty. Are they waiting until the rain period?
I think so, and I think this is a strategy blunder, if that's the right word. I think so. From Seb here onto the hard tyres, and Callum. Callum now overtaken Seb into turn 1. Is Seb going to get the switchback? All round the outside of turn 3, I don't think so, mate, with the marbles.
But now he's going to have the momentum.
Yeah, that is very true.
But with the marbles, like you said, he is going to have to stay behind, unfortunately. So yeah, Kua gets ahead of Frosty, who's going to be met by Callum and Seb soon. Logan 1.7 behind, still not making a dent to catch these two within a second. But yeah, interestingly, Cargos Blanc has an 11.5 second lead. If the rain comes within the next 5 laps or so, Cargos Blanc has really stuck this out on the hard compound tyres, but how long can he endure as Kua on those softs? How long can he risk his race? Because I'm not going to lie, he's not absolutely flying ahead of Callum and Seb. It's still like 3-ish seconds. But yeah, Callum under pressure from the pole man. Josh is going to have to pit soon. Same with Warren. Callum's caught Warren, to be fair, nearly. Callum just about losing out on DRS here. So Seb has another chance to get ahead of the Haas in the DRS. But will he be close enough for a move? I don't think he is, as Frosty is going to be a bit of a blockage to them. So Callum try an unconventional move without DRS. Can he go to the inside at turn 4? Can he swing it round the outside? Seb watching this unfold. Frosty leaves the room. He's saying let him go. And he does indeed. He lets both go. So good on Frosty, not getting in the way. Seb had to just avoid that. But yeah, it's all about the gamble here. Cargos Blanc not pitting. Kua going onto the softs to meet the rain. Callum and Seb just playing it safe at the moment. Frosty just have to hang out at the moment. Logan doesn't seem to have the pace at the moment to catch these two. To be fair, they have got DRS. If not, Logan probably would have caught them. Smolnik on the medium compound tyres, so he's gone a bit in between what Kua and Callum and Seb are doing. And he's catching Logan because of it, so not a bad play from the Haas driver. Cargos Blanc starts lap 19, just waiting for that rain to come. And if it never does, then that's going to be interesting. But I'm sure me and you, Nick, have seen enough races in our time. A million scenarios just like this. The rain does eventually come. And
it will. And when it does,
on,
it might come
if you
down.
do not put the inters on. Yep, if you do not put the inters on, you might be screwed. So if you really are going to go this long, do what you intended, put the inters on. As Frosty just going to have to hold on for now. He's really losing so much time. Logan's caught him now. 6.8 seconds. The gap was 11.5 just a couple laps ago. So it's been halved. Kua nearly 5 seconds ahead of Callum. Kua just seems to be doing everything right here. He joined at round 5 and he already seems like he's going to be a promising contender towards this man, Logan, who's 39 points ahead of the Alpine, who's up into P5 now ahead of Frosty. But Nick, watch him right on the back. Nick, commentate over Nick.
Let's go. Right, Nick, what's that? 21% battery on the back of Logan at the moment. The gap is 3.5 tenths. Logan on the hard tyres, struggling for grip, cannot get that front end in. What did I say? Patience is key. Now, small Nick, I'm big Nick, on the medium tyres. He's going to have DRS, but all the dirty air for the final corner. He's lost a lot of momentum, but he's going to use the battery. Logan has a lot more, but he's not using it. Logan is sitting back, just letting small Nick go ahead of him. And Nick makes a move. Done. Makes a move done. That works. That works. Into turn 1 and instantly pulls the gap of around 5/10 of a second. And he's going to have his eyes set on Seb in front. It's a big gap, but the hard tyres are a lot slower than those mediums.
Well then, Frosty did come in. Yeah, he got overtaken by Nick, who then overtook Logan. So Frosty's come out on the soft compound tyres. He's gone hard soft then. As for Cargo's Blonde, the gap 4.5. At the moment, Kua still got some life left in those softs, but I'm sure in about 5 laps or so he's going to start to feel the wear. But I'm sure after 5 laps from now he will be back in the lead, as Cargo's Blanc is putting in a mammoth effort at the moment to strike 20 laps. Not on the hard compound tyres he's eventually in. So no one's going to take it to the interstage. And at the moment Kua has pulled all the stops right. Now, I think for Kua's sake, he will need it to rain because he's still got to endure another third of the race on those tyres. And Callum, last week's quote-unquote winner, is going to be fighting it with Seb to see who gets their win today. Kua, winner of Imola. Callum, winner of quote-unquote Monaco. Seb, quote-unquote winner of Miami. The last 3, have to keep saying quote-unquote races, have been won by these top 3. Unfortunately, Callum's didn't count, so out of the top 3, it would be very great to see Callum get that win back. But it's good to see these 3. They're all behind the big 4, the big 5, should I say, of Logan, Sven, Josh, Sin, Cal. They're like 6th, 7th, and 8th in the standings, but they are making their way up slowly and surely. It's amazing. We've got like 8 people fighting for this championship at the moment. And at the moment, these 3 are the ones to watch. Seb just having to stick with Callum at the moment. No ERS for the pair of them. Same with Kura. He's using everything. 5 seconds. So it's only increased by a couple tenths at the moment. And Callum on 1 lap fresher hards. But Small Nick could be the dark horse in this at the moment. He is gaining on those mediums. Cargos Blanc going to be pacey. Comes out in 6th still, in front of his teammate Eggy, who's been in no man's land. Led the championship for most of the season so far, getting podiums in the first 3, 4, however many races, but no wins to his name. And at the moment, just doesn't seem like he has the pace to fight for one now. Still 2nd in the championship. His rival at the moment, Logan, just constantly getting those good results. 3rds, 4ths, 5ths, the odd win, 2nds. He's coming back, he's getting the points he needs, attending the races. And Frosty making a move on Josh Hewitt, who has had, I think there's only one word for it, an awful race so far. Especially at this corner, twice. One was probably his fault, one was probably not his fault. But there could still be a safety car. We've still got all 13 runners in this race. Kua only a few laps out from probably lapping Bluey, who goes off into the gravel. I thought he went into the wall there. Yep. Gravel all over his tyres. He comes into the pit lane. We might be seeing our first retirement here. Gets right up to the wall there. So Callum has taken 7 tenths out of Kua. 6 laps. 7 laps. Oh, yeah, Bluey retires in the pit lane. Is that really the limit for soft compound tyres? Because Callum has taken nearly a second out of Kua now. and he is
Well,
flying. He was 8/10 ahead of Seb.
how many
Carlos
laps has he
Blong
been
on the
on them?
softs.
7 laps. Well,
7.
what you have to understand, on a 50% race, the tyre wear is doubled. So those soft tyres have done about 14 laps, you know, in the real world. And I'd say
Yep.
20 is
Oh
their
dear.
maximum. But and they're definitely going to be falling off the cliff as Callum 5 gets to 20. That is his race going from bad to worse to even worse. As Bluey Doggo it
Doggy.
leaves the section. But yeah, once again, another second coming out here. And is
Yep.
Kua shaking a little bit?
Oh,
Maybe. Oh, and that's what
Eggy.
drifting there.
Oh yeah, it's drifting. He's drifted and had a spin. He's lost P8 to Frosty, and he may lose P9 now to Josh Hewitt. He does indeed, going wide there. As Cargo's Blong and Logan have a little swap. Logan's going to get back ahead of him as Cargo's Blong decide to overtake him on the second DRS straight. If Logan can even stick with 90%, he's just been saving his battery. Same with Eggy, and Cargo's Blong blasting all he can.
So
But yeah, Callum not gaining as much that lap, only a couple tenths.
So we've had Frosty Life and Cargo's Blong both pit. And
Yeah.
it started to get dark on lap 17. It's lap 24 now.
Yep.
So we've had roughly 7 laps.
Do you think that message displayed where rain could be 10-15 minutes away? I still believe it will come, but maybe in the last 5.
Yeah, maybe it's right at the end of the
4,
race.
3
So
laps.
maybe Cuba's had the strategy blunder here, and he expected
That's
it
what
to
I'm
come a
thinking,
little bit earlier. And maybe the driver should have started on the hards. But people like Frosty Life and Cargo's Blonde going onto the softs. That tells me that the rain's going to come within... There it is! There's the rain!
There is the rain! Okay! So maybe Kua has perfected this. So, we have 10 laps to go, and surely they can't just go around on the dry tyres in what's going to be an ever-increasing and rapidly big movement of water on the track. So Kua starts lap 25. With the rain coming down, it's going to only get worse as the track's going to ramp up with water. So Kua may have just pulled this brilliant strategy to go onto the softs, as Callum is just losing a few more tenths now. He's gapped Seb, so pretty much gapping one another. There's not really any close battles, and it's just who can stay on the tarmac, really. No safety car or VSC yet. Cal and Warren 3 seconds. Josh will probably get them both to get the point back. But yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Kua's softs are going to be feeling the pressure a little bit, but the rain is going to help. It's so much better to be on the faster, softer compound in this kind of stage of the race when the rain's coming down. So that's going to help Cargo's Blong, who's already gapped Logan by 4 seconds. He's right on the back of Small Nick. He's going to be soon within DRS as Warren has been overtaken by Josh Hewitt into turn 1. And, oh, because he's in the pit lane. So Warren immediately going for the inters. It's not a massively long track, so you can afford to stay out maybe another lap. It's certainly still dry.
But look here.
Like,
just
where?
Cure on the soft... where? Cure on the soft tyres here. You know, obviously, I don't know how much of an effect they have on the F1 game, but obviously the tyres, they're keeping temperature a little bit more, and he's pulled the gap back out to 4.1 seconds. So that's about 5 tenths gain there, as Cargo Blong on the soft tyres goes for the move on Small Nook into turn 1. But, I mean, they've still gained place out of this, but I wonder if those hards could have gone any longer. Because...
I don't see why Cargo's Blonde can't finish P2s here today.
Yeah. I honestly see it. He's 1.7 seconds on the back of Seb now. If he can get ahead of Seb before they all have to box for inners, he is in for a brilliant result.
And I mean, there is quite a bit of a skill gap anyway, but Warren versus Kua will be an interesting comparison because they're right next to each other. One's on the inters, one's on the softs. And while the track still looks dry, 1 lap later it could be absolutely flooding. So at the moment, Warren is actually keeping still with Kua, and a big help for the Tier 2 drivers of knowing when to pit is when the sign for DRS disabled comes up, as Cal has gone off there for probably the 3rd or so time, as Callum has now got a 3 seconds. That's going to really affect his podium chances. As like I said, Cargos Blanc could finish second. He just needs to get past Seb and get within 3 seconds of Callum, which is already the case nearly. So Cargos Blanc not quite close enough. He's bringing Small Nick along with him. Logan, just in his own world really. Same with Eggy. So Logan, 7 points ahead of Eggy, will extend it to 11. And they'll extend ahead of Josh Hewitt and Sin Icon and Cal. Only these 3 will gain, and James and Nick as well. So the gap's just got bigger. As one gets another penalty. The gap's just gone from 3.9 to 5.9. And when will be the right time? We still have 6 laps to go. And Warren falling a bit behind Hewitt now.
Oh, and Callum goes round once again. Maybe that's showing that, you know, the rain is just affecting the drivers a little bit too much. There's not any spots on the circuit at the moment. But I think, when Callum retires, I was going to say maybe he's going to box onto the inside.
This might be it.
Yeah.
That final corner just looks so treacherous.
Yeah, Josh Hewitt had a little bit of a slide as well through turn 4. Josh Hewitt also yellow fuel light, so I wonder if he's going to make it to the end or not. He should save a little bit in the wet.
Here comes Cargos Blonde then to take P3 ahead of Seb. He's gaining and gaining and gaining. He'll go to the inside. Seb versus Cargos Blanc. Seb hangs around the outside. They may almost make contact. Seb stays ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Nick watching this unfold. Seb makes a mistake, and that allows Cargos Blanc to go around the outside, but with the rain, it allows Seb to get back at him because Cargos Blanc makes contact with Nick. Goes off there a little bit now. He's got his work cut out for him. Nick and Cargos Blanc wheel to wheel into 4, and Nick gets the opportunity to get another place. Cargos Blanc with the switchback this time not going wide, and we have a safety car because of drifting. Drifting's crashed at the final corner. Oh, did he? Oh, he crashed into the pit lane.
And as soon as that safety car came out, look, the spots are on the circuit. Now is the time to come out for the inters. But honestly, I'm a bit upset about this safety car. I wanted to see some strategy masterclasses, and I wanted to see when were people going to box, because this could really shake up the order. So for people like Cargos Blanc, who's just lost a couple positions here.
Yep. Warren's going to be able to unlap himself. He doesn't have to pit.
Yeah. Josh Hewitt in the box straight away, and Logan.
Yeah, Josh could gain. Callum's going to be hating this with that 3 second. So they're all going to go on to inters. There'll be 10 left, so all 10 will get points. Josh, Logan. So Logan pitted before the safety car came, I think. I think he'll still be able to gain those 2 places ahead of Frosty and Eggy. So they all come in. The Hasses are going to lose a bit of time here, maybe. So Cargos Blanc may be able to get back ahead of Nick here if the Hasses hold one another up. Hewitt, he was enjoying that gap he had as he's back out into the lead. Then Callum, then Seb, and then Nick. Looks alright, but we'll see where Cargos Blanc comes out. There's Nick. Who's going to get out in front? Oh, it's just about staying how they are. Nick just in front of the Alfa Romeo, and then comes Eggy in. Wait. Cargos Blanc has gone softs. Do you not see the track? Eggy puts inters on. Frosty comes in. Surely for inters as well. So,
what's he doing?
Cargos Blanc has put the soft compound tyres on. What did I say? I said...
I think that's a commentator's cursing up on Union, to be honest. Get him out.
In this predicament, you put the inters on, not the dries. Oh dear. Right, Frosty comes out of the pit lane. And yeah, this race is going to have about 3 laps of running in the wet. Like I said earlier, Spain tends to have only around 1 safety car, and it's a classic end of race one.
That is a very good point. It's going to get very hectic towards the end of the race. 4 laps to go. By the time the safety car comes in, which will probably do next lap, which will leave 3 laps remaining. Or 4.
Yep.
It is going to get hectic. And if Cargos Blanc does not pit this lap, look, he's fallen over somewhere and hit his head.
He could still get out in P8, so he wouldn't lose too much. But he needs to realise this is a big mistake. Look at the spray coming off
Surely
all the cars. Mistake. No. James. James!
Nah,
what's
Buddy doing? He's... Unless Unless there's something that we don't know and it's like a 5-minute shower, which it definitely is not. He is just flopped the bag.
Oh, he's completely fumbled it. So we're going to have 3 laps of running. I don't know if Warren will definitely not. Surely not. Hewitt will. But Warren, no. But Warren's got penalties anyway. He'll finish last because he's got a drive-through as well, so it doesn't really matter for him. He'll get the point. Didn't even realise he got a drive-through until I looked. So the only person with a penalty is Callum with a 3-sec. That's going to really affect him. That's going to lose him the podium unless there's chaos. Seb will be able to maintain the podium probably. Small Nick, he finished, what, 5th, 6th, 7th on his debut in Miami. Got spun at the end, I think, by Seb actually, in Imola and retired. And Monaco didn't count. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Can he get his first podium? What about Cargos Blanc? Absolutely not on those tyres. Logan could gain a few, you never know. But he's going to be stuck right behind Cargos Blanc. He's going to be a sitting duck on the straight when he tries to fire up those tyres. Eggy, the championship leader, versus second in 6th and 7th. That's going to get fruity. Hewitt's caught the train. The safety car will be in this lap as the message will be displayed. Now, come on. Was actually staying out for one more lap? Oh my god. We're going to have 2 laps of running. Warren's been saved. Not really, because he still has that drive-through, but really? 2 laps of running, okay. Cure. Technically, this will be back-to-back victories. Winning on pens in Imola. And then currently doing the right strategy from 9th as well. Qualified 4th, got the 5th place, collision with Logan. So Frosty's in. Seems like he has nothing to lose, well, a position to lose. So we have Logan, Eggy and Josh, 6th, 7th and 8th. They're 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the championship, in that order. So this is, look, Logan's 7 points ahead of Eggy, who's 8 points ahead of Josh. So any move here is crucial. And what does Callum do? Does he try a move on Cure? Does he just try and bolt it and hope? He's got to try, really. He knows his race is ruined pretty much because of that 3-set. And if anyone else is close to one, they've been so used to the dry running, they could go off and get one. Josh has put in the chat, Hewitt comeback question mark. Frosty is ahead of Warren, who's going right off there, nearly into the gravel. So Warren will pretty much have to serve his penalty on the last lap. You ready, Nick?
I am raring to go.
Right
Cargos Blanc, I'm just on board with them at the moment, and I'm worried for him.
What is going on? Right, Kua, Callum, Seb, they have been the 3 leaders of the Spanish Grand Prix in Tier 2 Season 8, but only one of them is going to win this Grand Prix. Callum isn't because he's got the 3-set. Kua has been in a great position and will take back-to-back victories at the moment, but can Seb, who always does try something in an end-of-race safety car when he's in this kind of position, you never know. Kua then will lead them away. He's slowing right down, and hopefully there are no shenanigans, as there are.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Okay, that might get that'll probably get moved.
Small Nick, Cargos Blanc, they all went into the back of each other. So
removed
yeah,
or not, that is certainly going to annoy Joshua. It's not going to get him in the right mindset for this restart. Kieran needs to get a bloody move on here. So he's getting constant speed now. He'll go around the final 2 corners. When does he go? He chooses to go now because he's full throttle. And here we go then. Any implications of running out of fuel at Spain have been resolved because of the safety car. And with 2 laps to go, Kieran leads them away. Barely ahead as they all are maintaining single file here. Here we go then. James is going to get absolutely done on this straight as Logan goes down the inside, and Eggy has to follow him really. James has no grip to the inside. Now he's going to hold up his teammate as Josh round the outside. He's been involved at this corner 2 times this race with a collision. This time round, he just about holds on, but now his teammate holds him up. And Josh versus Eggy, he's in an Alfa Romeo sandwich. Josh down the inside, keeps ahead, and Eggy is getting so frustrated because of James. He's telling him to get out the way because he's on the sauce. He has no grip, and he nearly runs into the back of Josh. That allows Eggy to get the momentum, and James, like we predicted, falling down the order. Now Warren is going to have a go, and it's easy pickings for the Red Bull as the Alfa Romeo has no sort of traction whatsoever, and he's dropped all the way down. As Warren with that drive through is going to have to serve it, otherwise he's going to get disqualified. Kua 8/10 ahead of Callum, 1 second behind. It's already Seb who's struggling in these conditions. Small Nick 6/10 behind. Logan 1.5 going wide there. Josh Hewitt ahead of Eggy then. That is a crucial move to gain on the Alfa Romeo in front of him in the standings, but Logan will be extending his championship lead to these two behind. But at the moment he's not going to gain any more points because the top 4 are streaking away. We're on to the final lap of the race then. Kua 8/10 ahead of Callum with a 3-second time penalty. Let's switch it to leader. Seb will get the podium. Can Small Nick hang on then? As dropping down there, Warren serves his drive through. It'll be P10 for him. Frosty trying to get P8 on the last lap here. Doesn't really need to try too much. He knows he's going to get it if he tries it sensibly. And inches away from contact. James barges Frosty back out to stay in 8th. Right on the limit there. But if Frosty can just maintain that good traction on the inters compared to James on the softs, he should get it. As not really anything happening further front. They've all gapped themselves within one another. So at the moment Cal will drop to 3.8. It'll be Kua, Seb and Small Nick on the podium. We'll only be able to interview Kua unless Seb gets on his Xbox account. Close between Cargo's Blong and Frosty. Frosty will have another chance into what was a DRS straight, but now no DRS activated. So does Frosty try it to the inside? James going defensive. Does Frosty try a lunge to the inside? Yes, he does. And James, can he defend at all? He's going to stick it around the outside. The leaders coming through the final couple corners. These two fighting for P8 on track. Frosty seems to have the momentum as Kua across the line. Back-to-back victories for HPR Kua. The Alpine takes the win ahead of Seb, ahead of Small Nick on the first time on the podium. Josh Hewitt gets a 5-second unserved like we remember. And who's going to win out? Frosty or Cargo's Blong? It's Cargo's Blong somehow. Cargo's Blong then held on.
Cargo's Blong. Defensive masterclass, just pushing Frosty Life a little bit wide onto the marbles through turn 12, but kept it nice and clean. Superb drive there. And Warren coming around the final corner. A one spectacular point. Very well deserved.
He's still got another drive through.
Oh, dearie me, he's going to get disqualified.
Yeah, do some donuts. Kua then, back-to-back victories, considering Monaco didn't count. Unfortunate for Callum. Really wanted him to win due to Monaco last week, but still great points for Haas. Seb, another great finish to bring himself back closer. Logan extends his lead ahead of Eggy, who got back ahead of Josh. Remember, Josh might get that 5-second removed, so he might still be back ahead of Eggy. But yeah, somehow, even though that's probably one of the worst strategy decisions I've ever seen from James, he still had a moment there to hold off Frosty. The P8, little on the limit, but I think it was fine. Kua. He is one to watch. Didn't quite have the pace in both Miami and Imola, but due to, again, safety cars, penalties helped him. This time he had the pace. This time he had the right strategy in mind. And that is 65 points in 3 races for this man. That is brilliant. Considering Logan's on 89, he's back. He's within a win now. That has got to be one of the best drives of the season, even though he didn't have the greatest and cleanest quali. That is P1 for HPR Kua. Fastest lap does go to Cargo's Blong by a 10.5 ahead of Kua. Very good race. Top 10 all score their points. Drifting crashed, brought the safety car out. He crashed in the pit lane. Callum retired 1 lap too early, otherwise there would have been a safety car for him. Bluey Doggo retired just because, yeah, too far at the back really, unfortunately. But yeah, that was the Spanish Grand Prix. Bit of a short race director. Right, let's get Kura in. Don't really know if Seb will join on his other one.
Ja.
Oh. Ja, ja.
Ja, jee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Oh,
then,
don't. Oh, don't do it. Yeah.
top two are in the party. Morgan, have you included your audio?
Oh, I have.
Seb, have you included your audio?
Uh-huh.
Okay then, we'll start with the winner. HBR Cure, back-to-back victories, considering Monaco didn't count. Absolutely brilliant drive. How do you feel?
I feel excited, you know. I'm happy, like you said, to get a back-to-back win. Obviously, Monaco didn't count, unfortunately, but so you know, I'm happy to get back-to-back wins. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, you were one of the seven who finished Monaco. Annoyed, obviously. Like it's understandable that you didn't get the points, but you've come back to Spain to get the full 25 back to back. Were you a bit nervous pitting onto the softs with the rain coming?
Nah, I kind of like I was in a fight with some of the boys, and they were obviously going to hards, and I knew I was quicker on the mediums in them, so I decided to go onto the softs and wait for the rain to come, and then thankfully drifting just yeah did drifting, so
Drifting did a drifting.
it helped me out. So yeah, I mean he helped me out, and obviously Cam got a 3 seconds, so that helped me out even more. But so I wasn't nervous at all, if I'm completely honest.
That's fair enough. Let's switch from the race. Let's go to qualifying. What happened with Logan?
Yeah, so Logan told us all that there was a problem with the straight line. There's like a bump onto the entrance of turn one, and then so when obviously I went and did my next flyer, I did exactly that. I hit the bump, it invalidated my lap, and then I went to clip it, and then it my AI just drove onto the track and hit him, and then Logan said, "Oh, it doesn't matter," but like it weren't my fault. It was the AI just driving back on track. So I've got the
Alright, that's
clip of it,
fair.
but so it is what it is.
Yeah, you were only even if someone did that by themselves, it wouldn't affect your race result. It would just be something in quali.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, you got the five place, qualified fourth, started ninth. You made your way through, move after move, joined the top three. What was a brilliant fight, you versus Seb versus Callum. You got the strategy right. You pulled away. The rain came, and you never looked back. So, well done. And could we be seeing you potentially as now a new title contender, gaining on the top four?
So I mean, I don't know what the points are like in the in the
You're
top four.
24 points off the lead, I think.
Well, if I am 24 points, then maybe, but I haven't said anything yet.
All right. Very well done. In three races, you've scored 65 points. I believe Logan is on 89 after that P5 finish. So yeah, you bring yourself right into the fight with Josh Hewitt, Eggy, and Logan. And now we'll move on to second place. Another driver finding their way up to get into the fight soon. And it was almost the conversion rate once again. But I'm sure he'll be happy with second. Seb,
Yeah.
brilliant lap in qualifying to take your second pole in three races in your 98th race. How did that lap go?
It was very good. But I was saying beforehand, like before I even booted up the game, oh, I'm just gonna do no practice and just wheel it into the race. Ended up doing no practice. Then my game crashed. Couldn't get onto the game. I was like, fuck off. I'm gonna miss the whole of qualifying because I have to restart my PC. Luckily, didn't have to do that. Then was able to get my 2 runs in like I normally do. Then just somehow pulled a lap out my arse. Don't know how.
At the first pole, we saw those excited emotions. This one, you were
It's
just chill about it.
it was more tame. Don't get me wrong, I
Yeah.
was shaking like a motherfucker, but it was more tame.
And then the race started. For the first seven or so laps, you were in control. Callum then slowly put you under pressure, a little bit of a battle. And then Kua joined the fight. And then, yeah, you and Callum pitted for the hards. And then, were you surprised seeing Kua choose the softs?
No, I was like, I just didn't know when the rain was going to come. I was going to put on mediums, but then if the rain doesn't come, I've got to force myself into another pit stop. But then if I went softs and the rain didn't come, I would have been fucked. So I just thought, fuck it, go safe, guarantee myself points by going on to the hards.
Indeed, and then you saw Callum get three secs. So when he got that, did you pretty much think, yeah, I've got second?
Yeah, basically. But
Yeah.
it's
So
going into this race. Honestly, I was just sat there and I was just like, I'll be happy with a single point. I thought I was going to DNF, honestly.
so you got 18 points. That puts you on 58. You're ahead of Cal now and Frosty to put yourself, I think, 6th in the standings now, 58. Callum, 54.
How many points
So yeah,
back am I off?
Logan,
Yeah.
31.
Oh, it's not even that bad. I thought I was a lot
Because
more than that.
so heading into this race, both the top two, Morgan and Seb, were level on 40 points. So you finished 1-2. So obviously Morgan will be 7 ahead of you. So yeah, I was mentioning that you two and Callum, you have the championship leaders fighting in 6th, 7th, and 8th, while you have these three on the charge the last few races.
Hey,
So yeah,
you told me to step my game up, and I've stepped it up.
oh yeah, 100%. You're looking like the lead AlphaTauri at the moment. Josh, unfortunately, just seems to be keep making mistakes. That exit the
Washed.
first chicane, so many errors.
You, it's
But
washed.
hopefully he'll come back. Canada in 1 week time then. That'll be interesting to see. But yeah, well done Morgan, well done Seb. Congratulations. And
Thank
we
you.
will see you in Canada for round 8.
Forever.